Live from Chicago, this is News 3 Now's special coverage of the Democratic National Convention.
Once again, it is a beautiful afternoon, and we welcome you to News 3 Now's 5 o'clock program. We welcome you to our special coverage. It is now day 3 of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. I am Eric Franke.
And I'm Charlotte Deleste. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful Lincoln Park Zoo. We were on the Nature Boardwalk, which is part of the zoo. Another gorgeous day. Yeah, and this is really a hopping place around here. A buzz of activity here just north of the downtown area. And we have, of course, team coverage all week on all parts of the convention that's happening here in the Windy City. News 3 Now's Brady Mallory. He is live on Media Row at the United Center. He'll have more on what to expect tonight for the speakers, and there are several of them, some big names, and also the theme tonight. Political reporter Will Keneally is also live at the United Center on the floor, and he will let us know what the energy like is there tonight.
And reporter Ellie LaLiberte takes a look at just how big a role, and we know many people are tired of the ads, but what a big role advertising really plays in this year's election.
But we're going to begin with our Brady Mallory at the United Center. And Brady, what do things look like from where you are?
Well, right now, attendees are taking their seats. It is set to be a very big night for Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Now, obviously in Minnesota, he's as well known as a tater tot hot dish at a family picnic, and we in Wisconsin know him as well. But this is his big opportunity to reintroduce himself to the nation as a potential vice president of the United States. Now, tonight's theme is a fight for freedom. Now, this message has become a centerpiece of the Harris campaign, as the Democrats are looking to paint the Trump campaign as a threat to Americans' ability to make choices about their own lives. The focus tonight, according to organizers, is to highlight VP Pick Walz as a champion for families and a defender of fundamental freedoms. Reproductive rights, LGBTQ issues, and racial equity are expected to be areas Democrats plan to distinguish themselves from Republicans tonight. There are some other big speakers hitting the stage tonight, and they include Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson, former U.S. Speaker of the House, Representative Nancy Pelosi, former President Bill Clinton, and vice presidential candidate himself, Tim Walz. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg is also expected to be speaking. And so what happens after the DNC as we move forward to November? Some big advertisers and the campaigns themselves want to get your attention. Let's check that out with Ellie LaLiberte. But first, let's go to Will Keneally. Will, what are you seeing?
Hey, Brady. Yeah, we're down here on the convention floor waiting for things to kick off. As you mentioned earlier, it is getting pretty crowded here ahead of Tim Walz making his headline speech, later tonight. We've also been tracking the Wisconsin speakers who are contributing to the convention throughout the week here. As you mentioned, that will be Cavalier Johnson tonight, Milwaukee's mayor. Now, not only is he Milwaukee's mayor, he's a DNC delegate, but he was back in Milwaukee for the Walz-Harris rally yesterday. Now, we asked him a little bit about what he saw in that rally. Take a listen.
It was absolutely incredible. It was totally electric in there. We had images being beamed in from the United Center here in Chicago of the roll call of states going on. And then they got to see, of course, what was happening in Pfizer Forum when Governor Walz took the stage, and then, of course, when Vice President Harris took the stage, too. But it was absolutely dynamic and electric in Pfizer Forum.
Now, the Pfizer Forum, as he says there, not only played the role of nominating former President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention last month, but 4 years ago, that was the site where Democrats were supposed to hold their convention. Of course, that was sidelined largely due to COVID. Now, Johnson tells us that he's speaking tonight with a couple other mayors, so we'll keep an eye out for that. And we'll continue to provide you live on-the-ground coverage here on the convention floor throughout the night. But for now, reporting from the United Center floor, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you, Will. Now, here's the thing, and I said this during the RNC as well. Obviously, everything is playing very well tonight to the crowd of supporters, but now the next task is to get the American voters' attention beyond the confines of these walls. So how are the campaigns going to do that? There's a lot of big advertisements that you can expect. Ellie LaLiberte has a better look at the election down the road. Ellie.
Yeah, Brady, we are at a very busy United Center right now, and you can see that TV over my shoulder here. Well, that's been playing political advertisements during the DNC, and it's a similar scene to what we saw at the Republican National Convention last month. But it doesn't stop here. Those ads are expected to ramp up as we get closer to November. The Harris-Walz campaign says it's planning on spending roughly $370 million on both television and digital advertising. That's between Labor Day and Election Day. But it's not only on TV where you'll be seeing that political messaging. The communication director for the DNC says this election cycle is unique with a heavy emphasis on social media.
It's the old adage that, like, you know, when you get closer to November, you know, there's a lot of different commercials that are political commercials. But for us, the thing that I would emphasize is that it's not only TV for us, right? Like, we will try to do everything we can to get in front of voters, you know, even through like influencers.
The Republican Party is using similar strategies to reach voters. The director of strategic communications for the RNC tells me that one goal is to contrast with Harris's campaign.
The branding of Make America Great Again is the best branding in political history because it's a unifying message for all Americans. All Americans want America to be great again. So it's about making sure we express that. It's about making sure that people are joining that movement.
Now, both parties I talked to mentioned a heavy emphasis on Wisconsin. If you want to hear more about that, you can tune in tonight on News 3 Now at 10. But for now, reporting live inside the United Center, Ellie Liberté, News 3 Now. We'll send it back to you, Eric and Charlotte.
All right. Ellie, Will, and of course, Brady, thank you so much. It has been a busy week for the 95 Wisconsin delegates who are here in Chicago. But one issue, of course, remains every day. What's for dinner?
A huge city like this can be pretty overwhelming for someone. That is why our Armand Rahman hunted down some food recommendations for the Wisconsin palate.
Yes, definitely a unique palate, I think, in all of the Midwest. And it's been a question we've been asking here at the Lincoln Park Zoo Nature Boardwalk all week, every night. What is there to eat for dinner? So if you can't get cheese curds, which obviously is a Wisconsin favorite, let's start with the next best cheesy thing, pizza. One man had his deep dish from Lou Malnati's at his side and was ready to tell me his signature order.
So one of my favorites, it's my own recipe, pepperoni, mushroom, and onion on butter crust, no tomato sauce. Sometimes I do, but the tomato sauce sometimes is a little, you know, sweet.
Another pizza place I heard a lot, Pequod's in Lincoln Park, which is nearby us, but a little bit farther from the United Center, where obviously all the delegates are for the convention. But don't worry, I'll have a full food guide for Wisconsinites here who are visiting Chicago. I'll have that in our special streaming report on channel3000.com at 7:30.
We're going to ask you your favorite deep dish, your Chicago, as a Chicago guy.
Yes.
We're going to
Giordano's, that's it. Yeah.
They are popular. Their name comes up a lot.
Excellent.
Yep. All right, Armand, we look forward to it.
Yep.
Well, with the DNC happening inside the United Center, large protests have continued on the streets of Chicago despite scuffles with the police.
Some protesters are speaking out against civilian deaths, of course, in Gaza. Others are showing support for Israel. Videos show police in riot gear getting involved with a pro-Palestine rally yesterday. That was just outside the Israeli embassy. It also shows the vast majority of protesters heeding law enforcement and remaining nonviolent, though they did break through a fence. That happened on Monday. Police Superintendent Larry Snelling of the Chicago PD explains the police presence.
We wanted to overwhelm them. We wanted to overwhelm those people who decided to come to our city and destroy it. Now, overwhelming doesn't mean that we were excessive. The response was proportional. And in some instances, officers use less force. In most instances, officers use less force than they could have used.
2 arrested protesters were transported to the hospital for injuries. CPD also said they had 2 officers injured, but they refused medical attention because they didn't want to leave fellow officers on the scene.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris reporting that it is flush, the campaign, I should say, flush with cash and out fundraising the Trump campaign. According to just released federal filings, Harris campaign officials say the account had nearly $230 million in cash on hand in July. Now, that is significantly more than the $151 million that the Trump campaign reported in its principal account at the same time. This is a dramatic turnaround, of course, from the end of June when Trump led the then President Joe Biden by more than $30 million in those campaign coffers. A Harris campaign official believes they will pass, get this, $500 million in fundraising within the next few days. Well, let's take a look at the stock market in midweek trading. The Dow adding 55 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index gains 102, and it is a 24-point spike for the S&P 500. Well, Jalen Banks will be back next with your local headlines and also another beautiful day across the region, both in Chicago, also Madison. Jacob Montesano, your complete first warn forecast after a short break. Stay with us.
When treating shoulder pain, I think one of the most important things that we need to do is listen to our patients. Most times, just listening to the patient, letting them explain what's been bothering them, I'm able to help confirm a diagnosis.
Get an 11% rebate at Menards. Shop our great selection of water softeners today for softer skin and cleaner clothes. Morton's look-ahead technology learns and predicts your water needs, saving you money. This 34,000 grain water softener is $419.89 after rebate. Update the floors in your home with Great Lakes Heritage Vinyl Plank. It features an attached pad for comfort and is durable, waterproof, and easy to install. Just $329 per square foot after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 20% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures.
Don't let an appliance breakdown break you down. Shop Brothers Main's super in-stock selection from brands like GE Appliances with support stirred into every purchase. Whether replacing or remodeling, we've got you covered. Brothers Main. Feel like family.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, you can lease a sporty new 2024 Corolla for $219 a month, or lease a new 2025 Camry for $349 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
It takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
Dr. Ravel is one of the best. I mean, you can't ask for any other person in orthopedics that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of people in orthopedics, let me tell you. Ortho team and Dr. Ravel are wonderful.
KFCs are closing across the nation. We're digging into the sudden closure of a local store in Reedsburg. Hear from a stunned employee and learn what we've uncovered about a larger trend. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6. News 3 Now is focusing on the issues and the races that matter where you live, with 3 for the people.
Talking with local candidates, looking at both sides of the issues and fact-checking it all, so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
Thank you for staying with us. Now to some local news. Wisconsin is offering a free tax filing for all of its residents starting next year. Earlier today, Senator Tammy Baldwin and Governor Tony Evers announced that Wisconsin will be joining the IRS Direct File system, allowing taxpayers to file federal and state taxes for free. The Baldwin campaign says this initiative is meant to save time and money by cutting out third-party fees. For more details on the new filing options, visit revenue.wi.gov. Switching gears now, let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Jacob, what should they expect?
Well, we are going to continue to see some nice weather for the rest of the work week, but we are going to see 80s return over the weekend with a few small chances of rainfall. Now, we're not expecting anything widespread and no washouts for certain, but we are going to see a little bit of a return of the rainfall. And as far as beyond the 80s, we are going to see the 70s return at some point. Looks like that will happen later next week. So looking at the forecast for tomorrow, very similar to today. Highs will be in the 70s, partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. But as we look at the next 10 days, those 80s are going to return Saturday and continue through the first half of next week. We could see a few locations get into the lower 90s Sunday and Monday. Those look to be the two warmest days. And the humidity values will also be pretty high. So heat index values could reach the 90 to 95 degree level. Now, looking at those heat index forecast, we are going to see 80s on Saturday, so not too bad. But for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, those are the 3 days where we could see the heat index values in the lower 90s. Now, this isn't anything we haven't seen before, but still, it is worth mentioning that conditions will get a little uncomfortable during those afternoon hours, especially if you have prolonged activity outside. So definitely just take a few breaks from the heat. Again, nothing we haven't seen before, but still going to see those heat index values in the 90s. And it's really going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By the time we get to Wednesday, it's going to be a lot better. Still a little warm, but certainly more comfortable. Now, as we look at the rainfall forecast, we're going to be dry for tomorrow, but looking at Friday, this is Friday afternoon, we are going to see a few showers out near the Mississippi River, and pretty much areas west of Madison could expect to see some light rain, but east of Madison and around Dane County, the rain chance is a little bit smaller, and as I mentioned, even if it does rain, it's going to be pretty light and very brief. Mostly dry for the day on Saturday, but we have another chance of rain Saturday night into early Sunday. Once again, we're not expecting a ton of rainfall, maybe some pockets of heavy rain at times, but it is expected to be very brief, mostly happening during the overnight hours, as it should clear out pretty quickly on Sunday, and that will allow the sun to shine on Sunday and also allow those temperatures to warm up, as I talked about earlier. So total precipitation over the next 7 days, really from those two chances, Friday during the day and then Saturday night, we're only going to see about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch at most, but a lot of our area, especially north and east of Madison, may not see any rain at all. And if you do, it will only be about a trace. So still not expecting that much rain, even though we do have a little bit of an increase in that chance. Again, especially Saturday night. And then for Friday, they'll mostly be for areas west of Dane County. Now, looking beyond the next 7 days towards next week, or towards the end of next week, I should say, we do have a little bit of an increase in the thunderstorm chance Thursday and Friday. But the good news with next week is after about Monday, Tuesday, those temperatures are going to slowly cool back down, and we are going to see 70s return by Friday, and that looks to continue for the start of Labor Day weekend.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's a free ride.
But I already paid.
Let's do this.
Introducing Chevy's best lineup of SUVs ever. The rugged, always-ready Trailblazer, the first ever Traverse Z71, and the Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. When it's your time to shine, Chevy's got you.
Get 1.9% financing on select popular 2024 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year. So visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For Imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Kyle just made a decision that would change his whole world.
Hey, you're sober? You drive.
Kyle just made a decision that would change his whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
that takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
Trust your feet to Morgan's shoes.
Why Nout? Why not? Feel the comfort and durability of Nout footwear at Morgan Shoes. Nout shoes and sandals feature full-grain leathers in a multitude of colors. Nout's cork and latex composite insole is designed for daily comfort and support, and they are made to last. You'll enjoy Nout's luxury. Shop Morgan Shoes Hilldale for your next pair.
Comfort with style. Trust your feet to Morgan Shoes.
Morgan Shoes Hilldale.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think?
Ugh, I love this song so much.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage from the Lincoln Park Zoo. Former Madison Mayor Dave Cheslevich also rejoining us to talk about the happenings once again here at the Democratic National Convention. Republican strategist Brandon Scholes, he returns as well tomorrow on the final day of the convention.
Dave, it is really great to have you with us once again. So let's just jump right in with a look back at the Obamas. Now, we previewed their speeches yesterday, and they went after Donald Trump. What did you think?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. I thought they might just make some oblique references to former presidents, something like that, but they called him out by name. I was a little nervous about that when they started down that road, but I have to say I think it was very effective. It helped that they used humor along the way, and it helped that that wasn't really the centerpiece of either of their speeches. They moved on to talk about some of the themes from 2008. And I think what they accomplished was they reminded people of the themes of that campaign, all about hope and looking to the future and being positive. And I think they were able to remind folks of that and then sort of pass that mantle on to Kamala Harris. So I thought it was very effective.
Yeah, I was going to say effective is the word that comes to mind. They were powerful. Dave, I want to get your thoughts on, you know, as we called it yesterday, the dueling conventions with things going on, trying to fill two arenas 90 miles apart. What did the fact that it was the same arena as the RNC, what does that tell us?
Yeah, you know, I don't think that was a mistake. There's lots of places they could have gone to in Wisconsin, and they ended up at the Fiserv. Yeah, I think the point was obvious. They wanted to stand where Donald Trump had stood and draw the contrast. So Trump talked about the past, they talked about the future. Trump talks about American carnage. They talk about hope. And again, I thought it was very effective. It was also a relatively short speech, I think maybe 20 minutes, something like that. Trump went for an hour and a half. So I think it was all about drawing that contrast, and that fed right into what the Obamas talked about later. So it was all of a piece, and I thought it was very well organized.
Dave, Governor Tim Walz talks tonight. What are you looking forward to in his speech? And is he really all about connecting with Midwest voters?
I think that's 90% of the reason he's on the ticket. They need to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. And that is what he's there to do. And so I'd expect tonight you'll see him draw some contrasts with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance went to Yale. He went to Minnesota State. J.D. Vance went to Silicon Valley. He went to teach high school. He was a coach. J.D. Vance talks about cat ladies. He has a cat. And so I think you're going to find that kind of contrast in addition to just trying to touch base with voters, really middle-of-the-road voters everywhere, but especially in the Midwest.
Well, finally, Dave, we're down to 76 days now to the election, to Election Day, 76 days. And as we've seen through the years, this election stuff, it can be never-ending. Years for a presidential, you know, the campaigning never ends. Right. Has this helped Kamala Harris that it's such a short campaign cycle?
I think it definitely has. You know, when this happened, there was a lot of angst about, oh, she's not going to have time to put together a campaign. I think it's worked to her advantage. If you think about 2008, everybody seemed united. energetic, excited about Barack Obama. People forget that was a bitterly fought primary with Hillary Clinton. There was no primary this time, and so there has been no real divisions in the Democratic Party to heal. And I think that's tremendously valuable. I think this has worked to her advantage and to voters' advantage, because I think a lot of us are tired of that long process.
Yeah, it's really charged things up quickly, and it has changed so much in the past month.
As always, thank you for joining us with your insights, and we will chat one more time tomorrow along with Brandon.
Dave, thanks. And we'll be right back with a final check of your First Warn forecast. Stay with us.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
Drive into summer with a new Honda Accord Hybrid, CR-V Hybrid, or the all-new Civic Hybrid. Take a vacation, staycation, or just a weekend drive with the windows down. Whatever you do, make it epic with Honda. The 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Overall EV and Hybrid Brand. So act now. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
This is you. And you are why we do what we do. Each and every one of you are wonderful, amazing people. So we'll treat you that way on your journey of trusted care. Because the way you, and you feel matters. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health, know how much you matter to this world.
It's their classic rock that brings audiences to their feet. It's Blue Oyster Cult, performing live Saturday, August 31st at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster. Over 5 decades of music, thrilling fans everywhere. It's Blue Oyster Cult, August 31st at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Mark, a little help here?
Oh, keep it down. The noise is making them angry.
Whoa. Hey, I'm not a beekeeper, but I can replace these windows fast.
Let Feldco be the experts in your home renewal. Right now, buy one window and you'll get one free. Plus, no interest until 2026. And we'll get it done Feldco fast.
Buy one window, get one free, and soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
My son Joshua was 18 years old when he was murdered by an illegal alien. He was tortured, strangled to death, and then set on fire. When I hear Kamala Harris making a joke about the border and just laughing it off, it's painful. Kamala Harris was in charge of securing our border, and she's done nothing. If Kamala Harris is elected president, it'll get worse. If it can happen to my family, it can happen to yours.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A1 Furniture and Mattress is closing their giant showroom, and that means the best prices ever. Everything must go. Over $1 million in inventory must be sold. Name brands at huge discounts for every room. Store closing sale on now at A1 Furniture and Mattress.
Here's the final check of your forecast. We are going to continue to see comfortable temperatures for tomorrow and Friday, but by the weekend we are going to see those temperatures warm up with highs in the middle to upper 80s. A few small chances of rain. Friday we could see some rain west of Madison, but most of Dade County only seeing a slight chance of rain. Another chance of rain Saturday night into Sunday, but during the day for Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be dry, but as you can see, we are going to be a little bit warm. That's going to continue for Monday, Tuesday, slowly cooling off by about Wednesday into the end of next week. And we do have a little bit of a better chance of rain for Thursday and Friday of next week into possibly Labor Day weekend as well. But temperatures are going to be more comfortable then compared to this weekend. So a little bit of a roller coaster with temperatures, but nothing too extreme in either direction. Now let's send it back to Eric and Charlotte in Chicago.
All right. Yeah, absolutely beautiful here. The weather has not disappointed in Chicago for all the folks down here. Thought it was going to be a little bit cooler today, but it's been very nice.
No, it's very, very nice. And, you know, and along with, we were noticing this, along with all the zoo animals, what we have here, cicadas.
Yeah, they never stop.
It's like a symphony going on.
This has been a great opportunity for us to be here and show you the city a little bit. And of course, we want to remind you too that we have a streaming special every night that we're going to air, well, tonight through the end of the convention. It'll be at 7:30. You can watch it on channel3000.com. It'll recap the entire day. We'll give you a chance to look in a little bit on what's happening. Tonight, we only have one location, which helps us a little bit at the United Center. Our team of reporters covering this extensively. We'll cut in, give you a glimpse of what's happening on the floor at the convention. You might not be able to see that necessarily on network coverage, so it gives you a look at things. And then we'll recap the Wisconsin flavored stories of the day as well. Again, you can find that at channel3000.com. Starts at 7:30. It'll run right up to CBS Prime coverage at 8 o'clock, and it'll recap the day for you and show you a few of the stories we've been working on throughout the day. But we'll be back, of course, again in another half hour for News 3 Now at 6.
So just stay tuned for Nora O'Donnell and the CBS Evening News, which is coming up next. Once again, thank you for joining us from the Lincoln Park Zoo here in Chicago, and we will see you again for News 3 Now at 6.